You have one guy with 3 losses, one guy who has never lost, and the 10-year age gap. All in all, I have to side with the guy who doesn't know how to lose yet. Obviously, I'm going with Bam Rodriguez. I think Bam's discipline in the pocket is going to pay dividends for him. I think he's a more accurate puncher than Estrada, and I think Estrada is going to come in a little bit overly aggressive. I think Bam knocks him out. Even though Estrada's never been knocked out, 44-3, I'm going to make that bold prediction. Not only is Bam going to win the fight, I think Bam's going to get a late knockout, showing everybody the superstar that is on the rise. Welcome, fight fans, to my channel. This is Johnny, and in this video, we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning last night's championship fight in Arizona between Bam Rodriguez and Juan Estrada. This is an overall fight breakdown analysis. All right, guys, some of the facts going into last night's showdown in the desert. We knew that Bam Rodriguez was coming up from 112 to 115 to challenge Juan Estrada El Gallo. El Gallo was the champion at 115, but he had been out for 18 months, and we know Bam has gone back and forth from 15 to 12, back up to 15. And Estrada going into the fight, some of the facts about Estrada, he was 44-3, future Hall of Famer, world champion, and the guy was gritty and tough as nails. He had never been knocked out, and that's why I kind of had to brush my shoulder off a bit by the beginning of this video, because like I said last week in the fight prediction, I not only said that Bam was going to win, I said he would knock him out in the later rounds and become the first to do so. So say what you will, luck, whatever. I kind of know boxing a little bit. Anyway, Bam Rodriguez improves his record to 20-0 with 13 knockouts. The world is his oyster. When you think about pound for pound, top 10 in the world in any weight divisions, you must mention Jesse Bam Rodriguez. This guy could box, he could bang, he could counter, his cardio's through the roof, he has a chin, and he's tough as nails. And that chin was tested last night. So in this video, we're gonna go over the stats, overall accumulation of punches, power shots, jabs, and some accuracy stats behind both fighters, and talk a little bit about what led to 3 knockdowns, because Bam was knocked down once and Estrada was knocked down twice, the second time leading to the end of the fight. And we're gonna see some compare and contrast and talk about the overall narrative of the story of the fight. And stay tuned to the end, because we're gonna finish this video on what's next for Bam Rodriguez. All right, guys, before we break down the minutia of the stats, here's a little overall analysis if you didn't catch the fight. Though the fighters threw an almost identical amount of punches, Bam Rodriguez landed 42% of his total punches and 49% of his power punches, while Estrada landed only 26% and 31% respectively. Rodriguez hurt Estrada in the 3rd round, knocked Estrada down in the final minute of the 4th round, and hurt Estrada again in the 5th. Just when it looked like Bam seized control of the fight, Estrada floored Rodriguez in the opening minute of the 6th round. Despite being hurt multiple times and dropped, Estrada's will was never broken, as he actually kept pace with Rodriguez in terms of power punches landed. However, Rodriguez held a substantial 66-16 advantage in jabs landed. A left to Estrada's liver in the closing seconds of the 7th round ended the fight. When we look at the overall jabs landed, at this weight division, 115 pounds, the jab is going to be the primary muscle mover to get the fighter into the clinch. They want to be in that strike zone. They want to do their body shots. And with Bam Rodriguez, he loves the body, and this ultimately ended the fight. Overall, on jabs landed throughout the fight up until it ended in the 7th, Estrada threw 111, only landing 16 at a 14% clip. Bam threw 189, landing 66 at a 35% clip. Now, Bam throws more and lands more accurate, and you could say that the accuracy of the jab was the reason that Bam found success. In most fights, it is, but with Estrada, we know about his power, and let's transition to those power shots. Estrada throws throughout the fight 257 power shots, landing 79 at a 31% clip. Bam only throws 182, but landing more. He lands 90 at a 50% clip. So if you rewatch this fight and you talk to Estrada, he would probably admit that he would like to have thrown more jabs to set up his power, and he did that a little bit misconstrued with his stats. He threw more power, but he landed less, and Bam threw less but landed more, in my opinion, because the jab was working. And in my prediction video, that's something that I spoke about. I said that I like Rodriguez's chances of not only winning, winning, but winning by knockout because he's the more accurate puncher in the pocket and he's more technical in the firefight. We look at the overall punches thrown throughout the 7-round affair. Estrada throws 368, landing 95 at a 26% clip. Bam throws 371, landing 156 at a 42% clip. So Estrada was keeping pace with the young Rodriguez, almost throwing the exact amount. But once again, my prediction came true. When you look at Estrada's last fights, all the fights he's won, it's his accuracy. He'll throw a lot, but when you compare and contrast before this fight started between him and his opponent Bam, Bam's accuracy and his precision was just at a higher level, and that's what I felt was the reason for my pick and prediction, and once again, it came to be true. When we turn the page and we look at what's next for Bam Rodriguez, he has a couple different options. Fight fans are throwing names around like it's crazy, like we always do after an amazing performance, but the facts are this: Bam's at 115 pounds. Out of his own mouth, one day he wants to fight Japanese monster Naoya Inoue. For that to happen, Inoue is the undisputed champion at 122, Bam's at 115. He does have a rematch clause with Estrada. Estrada requested that. So let's say that happens. Obviously, Bam would have to fight again at 115. Let's say they pass on that. Bam does have an option to move up to bantamweight at 118 and take on the undefeated Nakatani. That's an option if he wants to test the waters at 118 before he jumps to 122. He could stay down at 115. If he doesn't fight Estrada again, he could unify against the other champions. All in all, whatever he decides to do, the kid is 20-0, 13 knockouts. He's 6-0 in world title fights. He's only 24 years old. And when you talk about the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, you got your Crawfords, your Usyks, your Inoues, but you guys better say another name: Bam.